What are you doing? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we're here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. She is in the house talking about bringing those profits in daily.
Yeah.
Because we're in business to make money and we're in life to live well.
Yes. Yes.
So
Please.
we're excited today to have her in the studio sharing some of this wisdom. I don't know if you guys know much about Coach Caren, but she has run a multitude of successful businesses. She's been in fashion, she's been in um, cleaning. She's run child care centers. I mean, the list just goes on. So I just want you to sit back, relax, take some notes, and take in some of this wisdom. Coach, what do you have for us today?
Today we're continuing. We're doing this whole series on money management, okay, guys? So bear with
Mm,
me, eh? And so we're talking about the next stop. This is the second part of the management. We're talking about the next stop. And the things we're going to cover today is why the best beginner money management hardly grow forward. We're going to talk a little bit about them.
mm.
And then we're going to talk about what's in their ear that's holding them back and
Wow.
how can we help them to unstuck themselves towards the better. Okay. And the reason I start everything with self is because when we look after self, we're better business owners. We
Mm,
run better companies. We look after things good. Everybody said take care of yourself, but it's really true. You have to take care of yourself. You have to look after self. You can't pour from an empty jug. You hear this all the time.
oh,
You have to be filled out. So that's why we're talking about this, right? That's where whatever we're talking about here for yourself, but it's going to lead into how you run your business, how you grow
okay.
your business. Okay, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Right on. So without any
Mm-hmm.
further ado, let's get in there. Let's get in there. So why the best beginner money managers, hardly grow forward? Because lots of housewives, even if they go in with the best intentions of doing everything great, so much get thrown on them because that's a lot of the places where it starts that they start out great. They want to do a lot of great things, but they're starting to not find enough time to get it done. And if no, they start out stretching the money. And I'm going to show you
Mm-hmm.
how this relates to business. If you start a little business and it was $100 that you started a business at, you you are not able to turn over that $100 over and over and over, it's harder to grow. Versus if you had start the business for with $100, but you had other monies or other means to
Mm-hmm.
sustain yourself, and you don't have to touch the $100. So you running two different races. That's why you can't look at other people and what they're doing versus what you're doing. You really got to pay attention to that. So if you were a money manager who's looking after you figure this thing out, right? Either you got a job or you're at home and you know how you're managing the money and things are looking right. You got to stay on that growth path.
Mm.
And I calling it the growth path because that's the only way you grow. If you're thinking about the path as only what you have in front of you, you can't grow. If you make $10, we're gonna go so small. If you made $10 and in
Okay.
your mind eyes, you're only seeing you make $10, you're not going to grow. But if you make $10 and in your mind eyes, you're looking at it towards $100, you're going to grow towards the $100, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
every person who's managing money, you manage in front of you. Some people don't like business plans, but I tell you, you can do the simplest of business plans. And that's what you need. You need to sit with yourself and say, I've got $100, but how can I grow it into $1,000?
Okay.
Growth plan,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
How can I grow it? So everything that you're doing is about growing the money. If I'm running this household and my hubby is bringing in 60,000 a year, which brings so much money a month, which pays X, Y, and Z, but I would rather him bring in 100,000. How can I take what we have and turn that into the extra 40,000 to bring it to the 100,000? And when you start, it feels like so far away because if you've never made 40,000, it feels far away. but you need to have that number to work towards it. And it doesn't matter if you didn't get the 40,000 this year. It's the projection to get there that is important. The reason I say the beginners don't grow is because if you are complaining, we're back to when I talked about it last week. If you're complaining and whining, growth gets stunted.
Mm-hmm.
To be in the mind that I am operating and I am doing more than what 80% of people are doing, no matter how small it looks. If I made one video every week, some people are not making a video. If
Mm-hmm.
I made two videos, I just multiply the one, which means more people have seen me. If I've written an article and I write two, somebody else have seen me. You know, if I
Mm-hmm.
went to the grocery store and I talked to one person, then I've came out of whatever I'm feeling. And then next week I talk to three people. And it's not about selling anything to the people you talk to. It's getting into the idea and the attitude that I must speak to people. I must get myself out there. And we going in the business room, right? But even if it's for yourself, for me, it's talking to the cashier when I was putting myself out there. Talking to one person in the vegetable department. I must. This is myself. And then I was talking to somebody by the ice cream and all the stuff. Easy, right? You got kids, you could talk about how your kids eat out the ice cream. You could talk about anything you want to bring up and talk to somebody. Or you notice that they added 10 cents to that thing. Last week it was 10 cents less. Conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk to you. Vegetables. You know, many people will come up to me and ask me how I cook certain vegetables, and then we start a conversation. And then the cashier, I go to the cashier. Once I see somebody that I like, I tend to, even if the line is longer, I'll still go to that cashier because I get to strike up a conversation. How you
Mm-hmm.
doing last week? You know, I noticed you were a little off. She's like, you noticed? Thank you. I wasn't feeling good. And you start building that rapport. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You don't have to sell them anything. Over time, if you want to talk to them about a product or service, you can. But first, you got to build it up. If you're paying attention, you meet not everybody, but you meet a lot of the same people in the grocery store if you go the same day around the same time every
Mm-hmm.
week or every other week. And I did this just to prove a point once. With a friend of mine, I was like, pay attention. Also, I had a client, she was a hair client, and then she became a coaching client. And
Mm-hmm.
I said to her, I said, every 3 weeks, toilet paper and paper towel goes on sale. The second week, flour, rice, and I think it was milk at the time that goes on sale. She says, Karen, how you know that? I said, just pay attention when you go to the store. Stop. Don't worry if you miss a sale because you don't have the money for the sale. We
Mm-hmm.
spend 90 days accumulating money for the sale. When I met this lady, she didn't even have a bank account with for savings, just for bills. I made her get a bank account. I made her check out and plan for sale so she's not just shopping because something is for sale. I make her make sure that she had a running list of what's being short in her home so she's buying accordingly, not to just pack it up. Um, and she took that gift in and shared it with other people who needed it. She's like, Karen, I want to tell people, but I said, no, you can tell people who need it. Don't feel like they share the news around. You know, she was working off, she's disabled. She's disabled. She didn't think she could afford even to get a hairdresser when I first went in, service her. And she didn't even think that she could hire me when we first started talking.
Mm-hmm.
I found her the money so she can pay me. I found her the money so she can keep her hair looking well because she's disabled. And the hair made her feel good.
Yes.
And we wanted to get her feeling good. Wanted
Mm-hmm.
to get her looking good. And you can do things for people that you might never think you can. A friend of mine, husband, looks after computers. And I said to him, what do you do with all the computers you get from the government? He goes, I clean them up. I throw them away. I take out parts. I said, good. This is what you're going to do. You're going to take a computer and you're going to clean them. And then I need two because I've got two big people who need them. And then you're going to find other people who can use this. I am telling you, Terry, I give it to her. I let her find another disabled person, give it to them because they didn't have computers. And my friend husband ended up giving away 12 computers. He said, Karen, I feel so good because every time I go to somebody's a problem. But this time I am actually doing something
Solving a
good.
problem.
Solving a problem. He's like, I didn't even know I could do this. He started going to schools, the neighborhoods who is just the kids can afford it.
Needed help. Yeah.
And he would just ask people, he says, you give me a computer. I can get him one. He's like, first people were like, but then over time, people were, I left my card and they'll call me up and they'll say, there's two kids need a computer. There's three kids need a computer. My mom need a computer. I want to teach her how to use a computer. And all of a sudden he would call me up or he'd tell my friend to tell me, she's got me good. You got me hooked. He did that for like a whole year and a half before he moved to Dubai. Like he was just so into the giving, like the spirit
Mm-hmm.
is awoken. And he says, I feel like in correlation, I was giving away. And as I give away, I didn't even think about it. As I give away, I keep getting clients. I give away and I keep getting clients. I tell you guys, don't be afraid to give away what you have. I give away a lot of things for free. A lot of things for free. Don't be afraid to do it. So this is why they don't move forward, because they don't think forward. I tell you, when you got a house, I'm working on mine right now. And a friend of mine said, Caren, when you're done, share it with me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
working on a home binder. And what it is to have all the things inside of it so that my kids could see and know I'm going to go someday. And I do a lot of things and I want them to be aware of them. So I'm committed myself this year. And I'm giving myself the whole year to create the home binder. I'm not even trying to do it in 30 days or
Mm-hmm.
60 days. I'm giving myself the full year because I want to spend the time and I want to gift them the things that I know is going to help them and grow them and move them forward.
There you go. Because we take a lot of wisdom with us.
Yes. And so I want to be able to do that. And guys, you could do that too with something you want to do, you know. And when I'm got it done, I'm going to share it with the biz chicks that they can give it out to people. Like they
Oh,
can literally use
we
it.
would
When I
love to
create it,
help
I'm
you
going
with
to
that.
do forms and I will give it to the biz chicks. So it's going to be a
Wow.
gift from me to you guys. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing, number two, is what is in their ear. And a lot of time when you're home by yourself or you're working a mundane job and you're hearing a lot of things in your ear, they're not talking directly to you, but if you're feeling down, it just plays on you subconsciously,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a housewife and you're not mingling with a lot of people, you start doubting
Yes.
yourself. You start doubting your ability. It's not true, but you doubt it like crazy. You know, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
sec. I remember telling a lady, I said, I'm a secretary. I'm a nurse. I'm a teacher. I'm a cleaner. I'm a problem solver. I'm a DIYer. I can wire a plug in my house. I
Mm.
can fix a drain. I um, set a sink in my kitchen. I did all the plumbing at the bottom.
Oh
I
my
did
goodness.
the wiring. I did the chandelier in my bedroom. I, you know, put up wallpaper. I painted a whole living room. And I started listing. I'm like, and you do a lot of things. No more in my list, but I want you to start setting your list down. And so when you have a list, here's the thing, here's the biggest thing that you guys should take away from this. When you have a list of your accomplishments, every time the air speaker talk, you can look at your list and say, you're a liar because I've got proof that I've done this. Take a
Mm.
picture out, how bad it was and how you've cleaned it. You know, simple things that you can teach yourself. I used to work for this guy. A friend of mine recommended me to help turn his business around because it was just dying, a plumber. And I went in and I was helping him get business and train the plumbers how to be good plumbers. And I would talk to people because
Mm-hmm.
I fixed my toilet several times. And so when people call me, I would say, okay, the plumber's going to come, but tell me exactly what's going on. What this helped me do is understand so I can relate it to the plumber better than the customer. So when the plumber
Mm-hmm.
get there, they're going with the right tool, the right parts, and they don't have to pay double their money. And this is how I sell it to the client. I say, if you don't know what's happening, I'm going to walk you through this. Pick up your
Mm-hmm.
phone, get to the toilet, and tell me exactly what's happening. Take a picture, send it to me, and
Mm-hmm.
I will walk you through. And now when the plumber come, instead of you paying 325, the guy was upset with me initially, it'll cost you 120. And he'll say, can't you losing me business? I said, no, I'm gaining you business. Here's why. When I do that, anything happened, the customer said, is Caren there? Because she's gonna make me pay less money. That's gonna be a repeat customer. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
get way more money out of them than not. They will not go to another plumber because I just saved them $200 or
Mm-hmm.
$100. And I simply say, and sometimes I'll say to them, you don't need us. You just need to clean out the thing that the is clogged or it's stuck. Just lift up
Mm-hmm.
that thing inside of it. Open the tank and lift this up. Or you got something in there running on water, take it out. It's being mildew. That's it's clogging it. The pipe at the bottom. People, although you think you lose business, then they'll call me back, Caren, or whoever's there. Can I speak to Caren? I would get in there on Monday, like nobody wanted to talk to me on Saturday or Friday. you know, he was
Mm-hmm.
so crazy with business because I would talk to the clients, I would tell them what's needed, and I would talk to the plumbers, and I'll tell them what they're going in to do. Those guys also were sad when I quit because they said to me, Karen, I don't have to worry. I get my paycheck on time. There was the other thing. They weren't paid on time because he wasn't handling the money right, because he wasn't getting enough clients.
Exactly. So
I
it's all
don't
this
think that was
stretching
happening.
to make payroll. Yeah.
Right. So money management is simple, but we complicate it.
Well, it sounds to me like, oh, and let me know if I'm hearing this right.
Mhm.
Managing money
Mhm.
has a lot to do with managing relationships
Yep. Yep.
because the way you do one thing,
You do everything.
so if you have a good relationship with people, you're probably going to have a better relationship with money
Mhm.
because people want to do business with people who are concerned about them.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Goodwill. Goodwill.
Good
People.
customer service. Don't come in here and act like, you're doing me a favor by showing up.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's a circle, right? The owner's doing good to the clients. The employees want to go service those beautiful clients. They feel
Hmm.
happy when they go. They feel great because everybody's thanking them when they leave. So
Absolutely.
there's no rowdiness happening. Um, and as business owners, guys, if you ever, I'm going off a little bit here, but I'm going to say, if you ever reach to the point where you're managing people, the same thing happens. My employees know that I talk to them not only about the work they come to do, I will ask them how things are going. I'll ask them how money is flowing. Don't be afraid to ask that. And that means they're going to think you're going to give them a raise. No, you're showing concern for them. I said, do you have a budget? Do you budget things? There's some that didn't like when I ask it, but eventually they're like, thank you for asking later on. I've had
Mhm.
people who come and work for me and look annoyed for a long time. And then eventually they're like, it's the best thing I ever did come work for you. I had people who left and come back.
Because they have accountability, you know, even though it's not, intense, but it's still in the back of your mind. That's why when you talk about um, mind clutter and sneaky things, that
Mm. Yep.
the little distractions in life.
Yep. It is. It really is. It really is. You got to pay attention to that, guys. You
Okay,
got
so
to pay attention. And you got to get the proof in place so that those sneaky things in your ears, you can park them because you know the truth.
hmm
Okay. When we got married, our pastor said, if you're not good with money, don't do it. Give it to your wife. He said, I'm
hmm
a pastor and I'm not good with money. God knows it. He said, I prayed to God for a long time. And then he sent me this wonderful wife who is good with money. I'm not talking about the church money, I'm talking about my money.
hmm
So if I ain't good with my money, I can't go with the church money. This is why God said
It's
you can
true.
preach and you get a treasurer because you're good with money.
Mhm.
So I'm just being honest with you guys. I
Because the way you do one thing,
You do everything. And he
mhm,
said, I listen. I listen, guys. I listen. And one of the things he liked to tell people, I listen. I knew my wife needed to be in charge of it. And my wife knew that we needed to have the treasurer be part of it because we can't just oversee everything because I am not good with money.
mhm, mhm,
So if you're not good with it, you would learn. And if you have a partner, you help them, they help you, and you pay attention. But he's just disclaiming right away. Here's what I'm not good with. I'm learning, and he did point that out. He said, I'm learning, but I'm just not good at it. So if you're not good right now at managing your money, it's okay. But you have to learn how. Okay.
just be honest with yourself
And be
about it.
honest with yourself about it. So the next question is, how can we help them to get unstuck with themselves towards moving better, right?
Okay.
So how can we get them unstuck? So you're not good with money. You have to have it in front of you so you can understand it. This is one of the big things. Take all your money and understand it. If you got $12, divide it up in what it needs to do. You got $100, do the same thing. When you do, repetition is really great, you know. It's one of the best things you can do for yourself. Repetition is great. Here's the thing. If you're paying monies, right, and your bill is, I don't know, $300, but you know they have this fluctuation where sometimes it's 325 and 375 and sometimes it's 300, get to the
Mm-hmm.
bigger number. Your budget need to signify the manager the money to the 375. So what happens? In January, that Pacific bill was not 375, it was 305. Do not spend the $65 or the $70. Keep the
Mm-hmm.
$70, whether it's an envelope or however you do your monies, keep it there. Because the day or the month that it's more than 375, you've got your backup petty cash there. You're not
Mm-hmm.
running, you're not scrambling. That's part of managing your money. Understanding, no matter how hard it feels, no matter what it feels like when you lay it out,
Mm-hmm.
walk away, get a glass of water. My favorite recommendation to everybody, get a glass of water, go sit down, hug a pillow, read a book, get a verse in the Bible, but leave it alone and then come back to it and watch how things clear up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Watch how things clear up for you. Now, sometimes it doesn't mean that you can pay everything from what's in front of you, but you might come up with ideas how it's possible. Like, for instance, maybe your gas is due on the 10th, but your
Mm-hmm.
hydro is due on the 21st. You've got days in between there to make it work for you. You got time in between there. But if you're confused and you're blaming yourself or you're worried, you don't have clarity to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you need clarity to do stuff. So the glass of water, the sitting on the couch, the walking away and the coming back, push ups if you want to, is going to give you some clarity.
Mm-hmm.
But be aware that once you solve it, now you have to make this a habit of understanding. So again, picture it so that you know it. On the 10th, I pay gas. On the 21st, I pay hydro. I have to have money come in 10, 15, 5 days before the due date. Same goes over here. How do I get it? How do I gather it? And I promise you, some things you might going to take you 30 days. Some is going to take you 90. Some is going to take you half of a year. Be patient with yourself. Don't rush you. Don't be obsessed in getting it done right away. Take
Mm-hmm.
your time because you're going to get there. I want you to not be stuck. You're going to be stuck if you're doing nothing. If you're
Mm-hmm.
moving, you can be stuck. And remember, we are moving forward, right? We are
Yes.
moving forward. We're getting unstuck. So lay it out in front of you, decide where things have to go. And there is a point sometime where we're not making enough money. Let me just add this little bit in here. I just wanted you to know that I don't forget those things. There's times you're not making enough to cover. That's when you need the space to say, what else can I do? And I don't want you to limit yourself when you ask that question. I want you to write everything you can do. And then I
Mm-hmm.
want you to take out what you are willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And wanted you to take out what you could do right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's only two, I want you to take one out of the two and I want you to break it up in such small pieces that you can start immediately. Immediately. So if all you can do with this specific thing that you want to do, you want to make, do that one thing. If you're a crocheter and all you can do is crochet a hat, I want you to pick up the needle, figure out what you want to do, and crochet that hat. If that's all
Mm-hmm.
you got. If you're a baker, bake the one thing you can bake. Write the recipe down. Make sure you get it right. Okay. If you're doing services and you want to clean, you want to start a cleaning company, take one of the rooms you're in and clean that room. Put on a timer. See how long it takes you, what you use. There's always something you can do. And if you want to be a coach and you can't do anything, find somebody and talk to them. Ask them what's happening to them. What is really going on with them? And don't solve everything. Ask them, could I just help you with one thing? and help them with the one thing and write everything down. Why? So you can prove to yourself you can do it. That's it.
Mhm.
Because when you do the things you're supposed to do, you're gonna earn from them. Period.
Mhm. Okay, and what does that mean? The supposed to do.
The supposed to do is the boring, hard stuff that doesn't look fancy. People call it sexy, whatever. That's the stuff that you got to do. It doesn't look good. Somebody came to me and said, I want to open a cleaning company. And I said to her, do you like to clean your house? She says, no. I said, don't open a cleaning company.
I see. Something you enjoy
She says,
or
well,
are
people open it up.
talented
Yeah.
at.
And people open it all the time without, no, they might not clean, but they like a clean place. They like a clean home. They have cleaned their homes.
Hmm.
It is hard for somebody who's a hoarder and don't clean and do anything to open a cleaning company. It just is.
Probably not a good fit. Probably not a good
Probably not a good fit, right, Terry? So I
fit.
said to her, I said, these are the things that I would want you to do. And it was a freebie. These was very simple things. I want you to clean your house. You don't even have to do the whole house, just one room. And I want you to time it. I want you to gather the products together. I want you to write out how you're going to do it. And she freaked out. Cleaning wasn't for her. We just had, it wasn't her thing. She needed to go write poetry. That's what she did. Well, you understand.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, we are almost there. So
Mhm.
let's summarize what
Yes,
we're
yes.
learning here in part two.
Part two, we talk about how the best beginning managers of money, it's hard for them to grow forward because they get stuck in where they are. And for us to help them go forward, we want evidence. And the evidence is making sure that whatever's in your ear that is doubting you and what you can do, you have proof against it.
Mm.
That's the key. You have proof. So I can do this. I can make a pillow. I can really braid hair very well because I'm braided the hair. There's a picture to support it. Don't worry about the nitty gritty. Just the bigger picture. This is what I
Mhm.
could do. So when it's in your ear, you can say, I could do it. And then you go out and you actually do it. Life is about a lot of little tiny boring steps. Don't let
Gotcha.
anybody fool you. Little tiny boring steps that gets you to this big picture and get you there. People who take Botox, a lot of little tiny injections constantly, right?
Hmm.
To pump up their face.
Wow.
No shame in the game, just say little
Hmm.
tiny things that happen. So if you're going to be a good manager, these are things that's going to happen along the way. And so that's why we're talking about them. That's why we're talking about
Wow.
them.
Guys, this is why we talk to Coach Caren because she's always telling us how to bring profits in daily.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, Coach. Every time I talk to you, just the little things about, you know, how to be prepared. Like you said, if your highest bill was 375 and the next month is 305, I get that. And then setting that money, that $70 aside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if and when the bill is higher than you anticipated, you have created a cushion for yourself.
Yes.
It's so simple.
So simple. So
Oh my gosh. And in the meantime, you're creating an emergency account, if you will,
yeah.
for any unforeseen
And stuff.
circumstances.
Yeah. And so when you hear about emergency, some people just freak out like I don't have enough money to do it. I'm like, I can find you money. If you ever tell me, you might be ashamed, but if you ever tell me where you are, I can find you money. I'm good at finding people money.
I am too. I am good at, especially in their businesses. I can
Yes.
show you where the money is in this
Yeah. Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
I can see it. You know, are you marketing to these people or
Yeah.
those people?
Yes.
I can see that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good skill, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. So, guys, I just want to encourage you to seek out Coach Caren. You can find her on the internet machine under Profits in Daily with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Also, Coach Caren has a course, and also she has, what am I doing here? Finding it. Okay, hold on. I got it. Da, 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 da. Which one's a course? Da, da, da. I have to read the. Oh, here, this one.
Yes.
If you're looking, if you're looking to take Coach Karen's course, I strongly recommend that you click on this site and sign up. She has a vision course to
Hmm.
create your vision board, and
Yeah.
everybody needs a plan.
You need to, and this really will help you get going. It's not a long journal, but you can revisit it a lot of times. It
Mhm.
really helps you to see where you're at and where you're going and plan it out and do the work. It's going to get you there. We here we don't want to do the work, but the people who are shining and doing great things, they've been doing some work. Let me just
There
say.
you go. There you go.
Mhm.
Also, you would need to book an appointment with Coach. Just talk to her one on one so that you can get some personalized encouragement,
Mhm.
personalized direction, custom, what would you call it? Custom design for what you got going on. Okay. All right, guys. Oh my goodness. We want to remind you that if you're looking to become a part of the Biz Chicks community, and we'd love you to be a part, you can simply text Biz to 33777, or you can find us under bizchicks.net at our website. We'd love for you to join us so that we can help people learn what it is you do and how you serve. So,
Mhm.
with that, we want to remind you we're here to help take the hassle
Out
out
of
of
the
your
dust.
hustle. We'll see you soon on the internet machine. Have a great day, guys. Bye bye, everyone.